Hello guys, this is Kathy with Kincaid Special Creations. I'm going to walk you through how I made some designs to go on a set of tiles to make a set of coasters out of. Okay, what you want to do, and when you're Cricut, you just want to come over to New Project and then down to Shapes. Press on the square button. And when the square comes up, just click in it. Then go up to size, where it says W, put in 3.5, and hit the tab button, and that will automatically change it to the space that you've got to work in. Okay, so then I'm going to go to Images, and I'm going to type in flower. And then hit the little search button. And if you've got the little A that shows up on the sides of these, now there'll be a lot of the things that are free, but if it's got the little A, that means I have Cricut Access. I pay a once a year payment. It ends up being about $10 a month, but you have access to all of these files, and there are tons of them. So you can just pick whatever flower design that you want, and then put it into the little thing that says add to canvas. I'm going to go with this little flower right here because it's a simple design. I found out that, and you add to canvas. I found out the more simpler the design, the better the cut, the easier the cut. Then just center it in your, and it really doesn't matter what the color of the flower is that you're putting on the screen, because you can cut it out in any vinyl that you want. Let me scoot over here where the flower is. And then you can just enjoy it. So for right now, we can then click out of it because it's the right size. It's going to fit on that block fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go behind it to the big one, and I'm going to go over here where that block is at. It's hard to see over top of you where that little block is, and I'm going to hit that little eyeball. That causes that to be deleted, but you still have it in case you want to do another one. Now it's going to tell you that it has 3 basic cuts. See it right there? You have a black, which is the outer shell, the white, which is those little holes, and then the orange. But I'm going to make it one cut. So to do that, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go on the outside, see where my little mouse is, and I'm going to drag across it. And then I'm going to go down here to the bottom, and I'm going to hit weld. That's going to make this all one flower cut. Oh, actually, let's go back and do attach instead, because I would like to keep those little. Nope, it's not gonna. Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. It'll keep. See, it shows you it's got all those little holes in it, so it should do it just fine. And then I'm gonna go up to the top of the screen. Sorry, I'm dragging you around. I'm trying to use my phone, and this is about the only way I know how to do this. Okay, and it's going to come up to this screen where I'm using the Cricut Joy, which is a small machine. 4.5 is about as big as what you can get on this, but I'm using the mat, and I'm going to click done here at the bottom, and it puts your thing on the screen here. I always move mine down just a smidge. Okay, and then down at the bottom, it's going to tell you to continue, and then it's going to tell you at the top right here to please. Oh, it's bringing up my Joy where it Bluetooth's in. Now my big computer evidently doesn't have Bluetooth capability, so I can't use my Joy on it, but I can on this little laptop. Okay, and then we're going to pick the desired. Now if you want to browse for anything, over here on this end over here, it says browse all materials. Whatever material you're using, you can just go down through there, scroll down, It's got them all. Everyday iron on. I just use the regular vinyl. It always seems to cut my papers just fine. So I'm going to click off of that. And I have my premium vinyl saved. And then it's going to tell me, I'll slowly move you over here. See that little blinking on the top of it? It's going to tell me to take my mat, make sure it's under those little things, and then put it in there. And then it goes back and checks to make sure that my paper is aligned and that I got enough to do that particular project. So then whenever it's ready, you just click the go button down here in the corner. Normal machines have the little go button on it, but the Joy is so small that it doesn't. Now it's preparing to cut it. And then there, it's just going to cut that design out for me. It cut those 3 little circles out first, and then it's going to cut out the big flower. And it goes super fast, and actually it's not very noisy, all things considered. You really got to watch, because sometimes these pieces of vinyl will pull up, and then you have to hit the pause button. Now you hit unload, and it's unloaded the machine. Okay, and then down on the very bottom, if you're done, if that's the only one you're going to do, you hit finish. Okay, now let's see what it did. We're back again, and now we've got our piece of tile, and we're going to do what they call weeding, which is simply just reach underneath. This one was, I was lucky at this one because it had already pulled it up. And just pull your design off. You don't need this because it won't do you any good anymore. And then, I don't know whether you can see or not, there's little tiny holes right here where it cut out those little flowers. So what you want to do is take your weeding tool and just get in there and bump them out. And there you go. You now have your weeded thing ready to go on your project. Next thing you will use is what they call transfer tape. This came with my Cricut Joy machine. You can use pieces several times. So I'm going to use a piece that I had used before. So just use Cricut Joy transfer tape, or any transfer tape. Sometimes you can even use contact paper. And then you take and you lay it down over your project, whatever your project is, and just, I use my finger because this is such a big project that it'll come off really good, or should. Just do it that way, then flip it over and scrub it on the back, and then we will peel it up. It comes off of the backing paper, which you no longer need. You can get rid of that. That don't do you any good. And then you take your towel, or whatever you're putting it on, kind of centered. I'm going to center mine to the top because I'm going to put a name down on the bottom. No, actually I'm going to put it in the middle because I'm going to put the name right over top of the middle of it. And this is the hardest part of all of it, is just trying to find the center to put it down on. That's close enough. And then just do the same thing you did, transferring it to the transfer tape. Just rub it down, rub it down, rub it down, rub it down. That just gets the sticky on the back of it to be stickier than the sticky on the transfer tape. And then you just lift the transfer tape up. I'm relatively, even though I've had the Cricut machine for a long time, I'm relatively new at using it. To the degree I've been using it the last little bit. So, if anybody has any tips or tricks or anything, they can let me know. Thanks for watching.